All right, guys, for our last science video of the year, I just want to take a look at what we've done over the last 4 weeks in our plants unit and just do a quick review. So I'm going to actually do this in two videos. The first video is we're going to actually look at this part here where it says, what did you learn in the plants unit? The second video I'll put out probably somewhere around Monday of the second week, or the last week I should say, of school. And I'll show you what has happened with the plants that we planted at the beginning of the unit. So for this video here, I want to look at what we learned in this unit. So I just did a quick rundown of the things that we did in this unit. It was, 4 very quick weeks of our plants unit. Usually I take at least a couple more weeks to work on these, and we plant our plants together and that kind of thing. But this is just the real quick stuff that we did. So the first thing we did is we planted a seed, and we've been kind of watching how it grew over the time. It's kind of interesting how they've started as nothing, and all of a sudden we're starting to see some actual plants show up for us. In order for plants to grow, they have certain needs. So we talked about the needs of plants. They need water, they need air, that's carbon dioxide, they need food, nutrients that they generally get from the soil, but we found that not all of them get that way. They need light, and they need space to grow. We talked about why plants are so important. So very important in nature because they create oxygen, or they make oxygen for all of us animals that breathe in the oxygen. They're food for all of us animals that eat plants, or even if we eat animals that eat plants. They're also very important because they give us shelter, and they hold the soil together to prevent erosion. They're also part of the water cycle, which is something that's important too. For people, we use plants even more because we use it as part of our jobs. We make our houses out of them. We make lots of different products out of them. So plants are very important both to nature and to us humans in general. The next thing we did was we talked about parts of plants, and we looked specifically at seeds, at roots, and at leaves. And we looked at how plants use these different parts, what their function is. We then looked at some special adaptations that some plants have. So some plants can grow in soil that has very few nutrients because they have traps that catch those to catch bugs, so they can get their nutrients from the bugs. They're called carnivorous plants. We also talked about climbing plants. So we talked about succulent plants, and we talked about water plants. And these all have these different adaptations so that they can grow in a place that other plants can't grow. This past week we talked about the life cycle of plants. So we talked about how they started as seeds, and then roots grew, and then the stem grew, and then the leaves would grow, and then when the plant can make seeds, we consider it an adult plant. And then the very last thing we talked about was, once that plant has those seeds, how do they disperse them? How do they distribute them so that the seeds aren't just falling at the base of the plant? How can they make it so the plant seeds are spread to other different places? And we talked about how special things happen with the seeds so that they can either be eaten by animals and taken to another place, or they stick to animals and they go to another place, or they blow in the wind, or if they wash away in the water. All these kinds of different things that plants do to make sure that they send their seeds all over the place so plants like them can grow in more than just one area. All right, guys, so for this part of it, for this part of the video, I want you to tell me, what did you learn in this unit? And I will send you a video later to kind of show you what our plants are doing. All right, thanks, guys.